Welcome back to World of Tanks with Dangerously Incompetent. In this episode, which tier 4 tanks do you want to play? Which are the overpowered for their tier tanks? Well, I'll go through them country by country. China, M5A1 Stuart. That's a pretty nice tank. It's a light tank, it's fast, manoeuvrable, decent view range, decent gun. Well worth playing. Tanks before it, pretty poor, but you can get through them quite quickly. France, South 40. The lights and the mediums. AMX 105AM. It's pretty nice if you want artillery. Its big plus is its 60 degrees gun arc, which means you don't have to turn your hull so much in order to get your enemy in your gun sights, which means you spend less time aiming, which is of critical importance if you're playing SPGs. So if you really want to play an SPG, that's a decent one to go for. But I wouldn't recommend you play SPG, your first tier 4 tank be an SPG. It's very hard to do well in them unless you've got 100% crew, and you don't have 100% crew yet. Unless you've got a banging crew from your premium tank. Germany, the artillery, meh. Marder 38T, that's pretty good. Stug 3B, meh. Hetzer, that's a good tank destroyer. That's a recommended one. It's powerful for its tiers, nice slopey armour, decent. It's got a choice of guns, 2 decent guns. You've got your derp gun and your accurate gun. Both pretty good. Take your choice. And the preceding tanks, the Marder 2 and the Panzerjäger, are quite good, quite nice, easy to play tanks. So the Hetzers are recommended tier 4. Panzer 38 NA, nah. Panzer 3 is worth mentioning because it is an exemplary medium tank. And if you can do well in this medium tank, you're going to do well in World of Tanks, full stop, because medium tanks is where it's at. It's not overpowered for its tier, but it is manoeuvrable, it's fast, it's got a decent gun, it's got a bit of armour. Perhaps not the first tier 4 tank you want to play, but is definitely a tier 4 tank you should play at some point before you go too much further up the tiers, because it's great to train in it to be good at mediums. VK20, Lux, yay! Play the Lux, it's awesome. It's a great light tank, fast, manoeuvrable, and awesome firepower. And the Panzer 1C before it is another fun, easy tank to play. Panzer 1, not so much, but that's a battle or two and you're past that. This is my most recommended tier 4 tank. Great Britain, Covenanter, meh. Electos, pretty good, decent gun, manoeuvrability, no armour. The tanks preceding it, meh, so it's alright. Matilda, recommended, particularly for beginners. It calls itself a medium tank, but it's really a heavy. It's slow, it's got a lot of armour, and its gun doesn't do big alpha damage, but it is fast firing and it's accurate. It's great for beginners. It's too slow to get you into real trouble real quick. And once you start shooting, it's a very fast reload with a very accurate gun. So if you muck up your aiming, it's not long at all before you fire again. So definitely a good tank for a beginner. Grant, stay away from. Valentine, meh. Birch gun, meh. USA, M37's pretty good, but I wouldn't recommend artillery, and it's not so powerful that you really want to get it. M5 Stuart is very similar to the M5A1 in the Chinese tech tree. Pretty good. If you want an American light tank, yeah, go for that. M81, T40 is pretty good. It's also preceded by the T82 and T18, which are both pretty good. They're all pretty powerful for their tier. So that's a T40 is recommended. M3 Lee, stay away. Russia, Su-85B, pretty good. And it's preceded by the absolutely awesome Su-76. Why is this tank so awesome? It has a tier 3 tank destroyer with a tier 6 gun. Highest anyone else gets is +2 tiers in their guns. This thing is so overpowered, which makes it easy to get the Su-85B, which is pretty good in itself. T80 is a bit of an odd beast. It's a light tank, but it plays more like a medium. Probably not recommended for a beginner, but if you really want to try it, have a go with the T60 and T70. They're much of a muchness with the T80. If you do well with the T60, then yeah, this line is good for you. A20's pretty light tank, pretty nice. T50 again, pretty nice light tank. T28, a great medium, and its only downside is its large size. And its preceding tank, the T46, is pretty good. And then its succeeding tank, the KV1, is good, very good for heavy tanks. So do your campaign missions for your mediums, and then take your crew and slap them in the KV1 and do the heavy ones. So the T28, that's a recommended. If you really want to do artillery, I would recommend the Russian line, because they've got turrets, which means you don't have to turn your hull to get your gun onto the enemy, which means you spend less time aiming, which is of critical importance when you're playing SPGs. Japan, Kiheg, Chihi, meh. So, to recap, my totally recommended Tier 4 vehicles. T28, Su-85B, T40, Matilda, Lux, yay, Lux, Panzer III, Hetzer, M5A1 Stuart. So, take your choice, pay your experience, and get that Tier 4 tank. Good luck to you.